What's up, everyone? I got a lot of questions on how I use fixture tables, so here we go. So there's not really a wrong way to use them. If you can see or you know some of the big flat features of your build, like this is the main hoop for this car here, so we have our harness bar, and we're going to do a V on the top there, and then that's going to extend to the corners. But I'm going to wait on that corner bar until I get the floorboards and stuff. But if you know what the large flat sections are, you can use the fixture table to help keep them flat and square. Alright, yeah, this one wobbled a little bit because I got a bumpy weld there, but that's the whole point of this, is to keep stuff flat and to keep things square. So you can check this with, 3-2-1 blocks as you're going, when you're setting up before you tack it, to make sure pieces are square and make sure pieces are flat. So when you get to, setting them up on the car, you don't have anything that's twisted and stuff. And then the other obvious way that you've seen me use this is I will bolt the chassis to the table, and then I will use a number of our fixtures to connect to the table, and then they will hold bars and stuff in place. So I'll go a little deeper into that when I get to it. But making large pieces nice and flat and square is very helpful, and this helps you do that. And obviously this isn't set up too well, but if I knew the dimension that needed to be from the bottom to the top there, I could set that dimension, and I could get my rear cage and spare tire carrier tacked up today. But obviously, I'm not going to do that in this sense because I don't know what those dimensions are. But this is how it's designed. You can take your measurements, you can put here, and that way you can constantly check. You can check this gap here, boop, see what it is. It's about 97. Check it on the other side, make sure it's also 97. That way you can make sure stuff is square. This is just another way to hold stuff exactly where you want it. And the best way to use it is taking or MIGging, something you can zap. Brazing, you're going to have your weldments off the table and try to blow the heat away from the table. You don't want to be blowing that torch straight at this aluminum table. So I did add one more piece before I actually weld the main hoop here. And I know the outer diameter from the outside of this tube is 172 millimeters. So I made sure this is 172 millimeters, and before I weld it, I added another fixture holding that down. So when we weld this is a bend. So this has it has already been manipulated. So when I weld this, that would do this. If I put a video, I might do that. I'm going to take a video of the end of a tube and where I'm making a weldment at a node there, and you'll see it kind of waver one way or the other. Like it'll heat up and then it'll cool, or it'll heat up and then it'll cool. So doing this just helps keep everything square. So taking future measurements will be reliable because all the parts are square. This side will be the same as that side, and it just makes building easier whenever. Thanks for watching.